Another, I think, outcome of this cautious lack of fear of escalation approach is the whole question of NATO. Um, the You now have an unprecedented number of countries in NATO supporting Ukrainian membership. It's the highest ever. Something at least about something 80% maybe now of countries supporting NATO membership for Ukraine, including France. The two countries that continue to block it are Germany and the US. So before we go raise the question of the US being Ukraine's best friend in the West, no US president since President Bush, i.e. since 2009, has supported Ukrainian membership of NATO. So that's nearly 20 years. Obama, Trump, and Biden have all not supported Ukrainian membership of NATO. This is a mistake, and a very cynical mistake, because it continues to leave Ukraine in this gray zone, which is tempting for Russia to keep on attacking. If you want to quickly end this war, bring Ukraine into NATO. Yes, you'd only be able to bring in the part of Ukraine which is not occupied, of course, bring that part of Ukraine into NATO. But once that part which is not occupied is part of NATO, a member of NATO, then Russia will not stop, will not be willing to attack a NATO member. Keeping Ukraine outside NATO will continue this war forever, as it were. So I think the only way forward is to adopt the approach that they adopted after World War II. Then they brought West Germany into NATO, even though part of Germany was occupied by the Soviet Union, the GDR, the so-called Eastern Germany. But at least Western Germany was given security by being part of NATO, part of the EU. It could rebuild itself and build a democracy. Keeping Ukraine outside is going to be, I think, a fatal mistake. And I think that it's a way of prolonging the war. NATO keeps kind of jumping through various hoops to try to bring out this nice vocabulary and discourse to say, oh, Ukraine is about to join, or this. It's been doing this towards Ukraine. It's been, in effect, I think, lying about membership for Ukraine since at least 2008. And I think that is wrong. It's also wrong because Ukraine is now probably the most military experienced country in NATO. Ukraine outspends, I think, even the US in terms of military defense expenditure. So all of the experiences that Ukraine is gaining on the battlefield from this new type of warfare that we're seeing, this is all experience that when this war ends, Ukrainians are going to be going around everywhere as military advisors and training Western troops. So I think that there's a big mistake here, and I think if you want to have some kind of peace agreement, even a temporary peace agreement, the only way to stop this war reigniting again is to bring at least the 80% of Ukraine, which is not occupied by Russia, bring it inside NATO. And then we can have a temporary ceasefire maybe, and then we'll see how it goes. But allowing it to continue as it is now is allowing for a never-ending war, which is just suffering for the Ukrainians.